name will be glorified, and then we would have cause to really be grateful that we learned today and we are earning from it one of these days, or we're using it specifically for the good of ourselves, our nation, and everyone around us. Thank you, Father, because we know that you've heard our prayers. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So this evening, I'm officially welcoming everybody to today's section. I feel very excited, and I count it a privilege to be welcoming our speaker for today, right? I count it a huge privilege. Many of us know him, and some people gave a very explicit description and many things that to look out to rather. And this evening we have Dr. Ezekiel Olagunju,
Yeah,
PhD, all
exactly.
right, in our midst. Yeah, so he's a distinguished linguist, an educator, and researcher with over 22 years of experience in teaching, research, and translation. He specializes in German linguistics, for French language, and the comparative analysis with Yoruba. His expertise include curriculum design, international collaborations, and mentoring students. A lecturer of the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, since 2002. He has contributed significantly to German language instruction, teaching courses such as oral communication in German, advanced German composition, and applied German linguistics. His research focuses on comparative morphology, particularly word formulation in German and Yoruba. Dr. Olagunju has an extensive academic background, having studied and trained institutions across Nigeria, France, Niger, and Germany. He has authored 3 books on German numerous research papers in reputation. Let's keep clapping as we welcome. He's also a recipient of multiple scholarships, research grants, and awards, highlighting his academic excellence and professional contribution. Everybody with a clapping ovation. Let's welcome our doctor, Dr. Olagunju, to podium.
Thank you very much.
To
Good
Foreign
evening.
Languages Gateway.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I say good evening to you all in the name of the Lord Jesus. I'm glad to be here this evening. I want to appreciate the organizers for the invitation. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Loud
thank you
and
very
clear,
much.
sir.
Thank you very much. So once again, I want to appreciate the
Yes, sure.
opportunity
We
given
can
unto
hear you
me.
absolutely clear, sir.
Thank you. I want to
You're
appreciate the
welcome,
opportunity given
sir.
unto me to be here tonight. And I'm so specifically happy that I am given the opportunity to do what I like doing most, which is to influence the life of young people, to challenge young people to achieve greatness in life, especially through the knowledge of foreign languages. Tonight, we are talking about harnessing global resources through foreign languages gateway. Even from the topic, you could already, guess what are we going into tonight. Of course, we want to see how to penetrate the whole world through the use of languages. We call them foreign languages, we call them languages, we call them medium of expression and all that. So just as we know, there were some people that gathered together in the Bible and they wanted to build a majestic building, not just in size, but in height. And they were planning that this building will reach to heaven. They wanted to go and meet God over there. They wanted to be so tall so that they can get him there and possibly achieve their goal. And eventually they started. But then God saw that this is a project where God is not involved, and God was not happy with them. So God thought, which way can I stop this project? Let me multiply the languages. And once the languages I mean, the language they were speaking, once it was multiplied, they were confused and they could not understand themselves anymore. So once they could not understand themselves anymore, they started to scatter and spread here and there. So that's a picture of the power of language or the power of languages. But then when we understand ourselves, you understand an individual who is speaking another language. By the time you speak that language, then you are like one of us. You are like my family member. Languages link people together. And if God had not changed their languages if God had not multiplied their languages, the project would have been accomplished. It would have been achieved. But thank God, once we are born again, we are children of God. Learning languages is an addition, not a subtraction. That means the more languages you know, the more you're able to connect with people of that language. And you can really, really penetrate and achieve a lot of things through the knowledge of foreign languages. So that's the the introduction. Now, going to the introduction of what we have to do today, we are talking about foreign languages. Of course, there are so many foreign languages, but I'll just limit it to these two tonight. That's French and German, if you like German and French. And thank God, French is not too new to Nigeria. German is still a bit new to many people in the country. So we're going to talk about these two, and in particular, I'm going to really concentrate more on German um, tonight. So the question is, why work in German? That is, why study German? And if you are studying German, why do you want to go and work in Germany? Okay, so those are the questions. So remember, I said I'm going to concentrate more on German. That's the name of the language, and Germany, the name of the country. Now, talking about Germany, Germany is the European Union's largest economy, and it lies fourth position in the world, behind USA, China, and Japan. And if you look at that, that means it's the fourth. When you count it, you have Japan, China, USA, and then you have Germany. So the fourth position in the whole world, I think, is a good thing. I mean, the economy is quite large. Okay, and Germany is one of the world's largest car producers. Of course, we have vehicles like Volkswagen, Mercedes, Audi, BMW, as we call it in Nigeria. So the country is producing all these vehicles, and that shows you how large the economy is. And this production has been for a very long time, not just something of today. They have been doing it for several years. And if you look at our roads, you discover that you see a lot of these vehicles there, not only in Nigeria, in the whole of Africa, in Asia, in different parts of the world. That shows you the largeness of the economy. Not only that, the language German is the most widely taught language across the whole world. The most widely taught language across the whole world. So that shows the importance of the country and the importance of the importance of the language, the importance of the country and the importance of the language itself. And Germany is ranked the most attractive study location in Europe and the third most attractive study location in the world. I mean, that shows you how important the country is one of the most attractive study location in the whole of Europe and also in the whole of the world. Germany is considered very attractive place to study. Okay, the question is, why is it that is a very attractive location to study? Because there is no school fees. You don't pay school fees in Germany. You don't pay school fees in Germany. And where there is a payment of school fees, the school fees is very low, very, very low. I personally experienced this one when I studied there. I was there for 11 years and I didn't pay a dime. There was a government that came along the line and said, you have to pay, you have to pay, you have to pay. And then we paid. It was when I got back to Nigeria, one of my friends just called me and said, the money we paid those years, many years ago, they are returning it already. And they asked me to send my account number too. So in essence, Germany is a very wonderful place to study. The only money you need to spend, of course, which is normal, your accommodation, your feeding, your insurance, and the little money you need to buy one thing or the other. Of course, nobody will supply that for you. It is the individual that must look for that. And despite the fact there is no school fees in Germany, no fees or low fees in Germany, students are allowed to work in Germany. This may surprise you, but in Germany, you, as student or as a student, you're allowed to work 5 months in a year full time, because there are 5 months of holiday in a year and students work when there is holidays. And sometimes even when you're having lectures, you still look for opportunity to work depending on your need for money. Okay, now these students are allowed to work part-time in Germany. And it's so interesting that the university even look for the job for you. So that you just go to the board and pick the job and then you work. Okay, then the possibility of staying back in Germany after studies. There's a recent research that shows that 69% of international students, they prefer to stay in Germany after their studies. 69%. And this is amazing. Once you study in Germany, it's just like automatic. If you apply for it, you have opportunity to stay back in the country after your study. And remember, it's just so fantastic that once you study there, you are sure to get a very good job that has to do with your line, with what you studied. So it's a fine one. So why do I need to learn or study German? Remember, I said we're focusing more on German. So the question is, why do I need to learn or study German? There are two verbs there. That one is learning, the other one is studying. They mean two different things. Learning simply means maybe you want to study, you want to be a medical doctor, or you want to study biology, or want to study physics, or want to study mathematics, or want to study history. You can still learn German on a private basis for you to get the international certification. So it doesn't matter what you want to study, you can still learn German. Just like people that are in accounting and they're still writing I can, or somebody in one other department and is still writing I can. So also, you can study anything you want to study and still learn German. And the knowledge of German you have will open the door for you to access a lot of possibilities, despite the fact that you do not study German. Now, for studying German, people that are studying German are those that are studying German in the university. Those that are doing it in the university. And I think you understand the difference between to learn and to study German now. Okay, there is a significant labor shortage in Germany. And many people are needed in this country to kind of fill the gap to help their labor shortage. And it's funny to know that Germany faces worker shortage in more than 70 occupation. That's 70 occupation where Germans are looking for people to fill in the gap. And 570,000 jobs remained unfilled in 2023. The meaning of that is there were jobs for people to do, but there were no people to do the job. And in how many jobs? 570,000 in 2023. And according to the projection, the unfilled position will cost the country a loss of very big sum of money. In fact, in billions by 2027. And they don't want to lose this money. And because of that, Germany is looking for people to come and work, to come and study, to come and stay in their country. Well, maybe I should just remind you, the population, some of these countries, when you hear what they are doing and their position in life, in position in the world economy, we usually mistakenly think there are so many. No, there are not so many. Germany is just 80 million. 80 million. Nigeria is, who can tell me how many millions are we in Nigeria? Maybe somebody should just tell us.
125 million.
Okay, some said 125, some said 200 million. Yeah, so that shows you The country is not that it's so big, but very strong. And if they're going to lose so many billions of euro by 2027, they feel it's important to let people outside there know, as many as are interested, can come in to help them anytime, any moment. But then such a person should have the knowledge of German. We call it, there are different levels. I'm still going to talk about that. So now this level that I'm talking about, we're talking about Germany now, I branch a little bit to America. If one has a level of this language competence, there is scholarship for master's degree in America. So the knowledge of the German language, this B2 level, guarantees good job. Even, of course, in America, you can get scholarship to study for your master's. And as I'm talking to you now, I have so many of our students, both in the language school and in the department. Many of our students, somebody was telling me today, they were collating the names of those that have left OAU here to America using this route of language to go and get scholarship and do masters in America, and the person is counting up to 30 within the next few years, within the past few years. So it's just amazing that it sounds so funny, so easy, but it's not just sounding it, it's real. The only thing, the price to pay is the price of the language. And even in Nigeria, there are a lot of people here in Nigeria too that are doing very, very good job, simply because they have this level of proficiency in the German language. In the embassy, as far back as 7 years ago, I have some of my students that, at least one of them that confided so much in me, that brought the employment letter, and then she showed me, and I saw 480. That's around 6-7 years ago. 480 salary. I mean, and that is how it is. Many people have not known so much about the language, but the few people that know about it, they are really enjoying it. The person I'm talking about now, 486 years ago, 7 years ago, she just worked there for some months, and another opportunity came, opportunity, and she's not even in Nigeria presently, she's already in America. So those are the possibilities we can have in Nigeria, in Africa, in Germany, in America, in Canada, when the knowledge of this language is possessed, if we have the knowledge of this language. Okay, well, the German government is interested in addressing the labor shortage and in the labor market, so that's why there's a call for people and to come to Germany. And then they brought up some things that will bring people to Germany. Number one is vocational training. We call it Ausbildung in German, vocational training in English. With the knowledge of German and with this level of competence in the German language, one can travel from Nigeria and then you go and get a job in Germany. Before you leave, would have gotten the job for you. The processes it's not difficult. With prayer, we get a contract for you. Once you have this competence, then you can go and do vocational training. I'll still be talking about vocational training, so please have it in mind, vocational training. Okay, the second one is opportunity card. Concerning opportunity card, with opportunity card, the level of proficiency is from A1. That is if you finish A1. But I'll still tell you one or two things about opportunity card. Please don't forget vocational training, that's number one. Number two, opportunity card. Then number three, voluntary services. And then number four, university summer course. Okay, and then number five, study trip, the one we call Studienreise. Okay, let's start with vocational training. Training in Germany lasts for 2 to 3 years, depending on the kind of vocational training that you choose. And the starting salary is 1,100 for those that are choosing vocational training. And then after the 3 years employment, the salary is 1,100 euro, as you could see it on the platform. Then automatic employment after training with fat salary. When I say fat salary, sometimes we don't usually, you don't get salary and show it to people normally. But I have young ones that they don't mind showing it to me, and I've seen it before. That's one of our students here. After she finished the vocational training and then she now got the normal employment. I saw 4,000 euro, 4,000 euro on a monthly basis after the training, after the 3 years or 2 years training in the vocational training. I mean, in the vocational school. So 4,000 euro in a month. And, and you know, after some months of working, she became pregnant and they gave her leave to just go and take care of herself for some many other months. She just delivered, and I mean, she delivered some, I think almost a years ago. And she was at home for like 6 months or 1 year before she just resumed work now. I mean, fantastic working environment and working conditions. Then permanent stay on request after 5 years. After you have stayed in Germany for 5 years, if you are interested in getting your permanent stay, you can request for it. And I've seen students that at least one of them just phoned me last week or this week, and she sent a copy of the permanent stay to me. It's just interesting. Okay, now what are the requirements for vocational training? Number one, international passport. Number two, WAEC, NECO, or GC. It's either WAEC or NECO or GC, not the three. So, and then number three, language proficiency, and then number four, work contract. All you need is number 1 to 3, the work contract. We get that one done for you. Then German language proficiency level. There are levels, and these are the levels. Level 1 is beginner's level, A1. Level 2 is beginner's level, A2. Level 3 is intermediate level, B1. Level 4 is intermediate level, B2. Level next is mother tongue level, C1. Level next is mother tongue level, C2. Yours sincerely, C1 and C2 is only needed by those people who study, remember that verb, who study German in Nigeria and are interested in continuing to study German in Germany, and they want to study that German in Germany in German language. I hope I make myself clear. So, but then normally if you need, I mean, if you want to do vocational training, you just need B2 level for vocational training. Okay, then for opportunity card. Opportunity card, these are candidates that are given 1 year visa to go to Germany to look for a job. Once you have A1 level of the German proficiency, you are going to be given visa, if you are interested, to go to Germany to go and look for job. Remember, vocational training, you get the job before you go. Opportunity card, you go to Germany to look for job yourself. But then you need to understand when it comes to opportunity card is expensive because you have to block an account. What's the meaning of that? The German government says, we don't know how early you are going to get a job. So you must have some money in your account. The money should be able to feed you for 1 year. And if you get that, you get a job after 2 months, the money is yours. And the remaining, the 2 months when you didn't get the job, when you have not gotten job, you have money to be spending and it's your own money so that the person will not become a burden on the German government. So that is the purpose of blocked account. But then there are people that are interested in doing that. So that's why it's good to talk about it. But if you don't have the money, it's either you have the money or you have the language. It's either or. So if you don't have the money, then you have to have the language. If you don't have, maybe you are thinking, okay, I can't give my time to the too much of the language, then you have the money so that you can go for opportunity card. But then from my personal experience, it's always good to have minimum level 3 of the language. Because if you get to Germany and you don't have the language, you will spend heavy money to go and learn the language. And it's not easy to get a good job without the language because it's only German that is spoken officially in that country. Officially. So if you want to get a standard job that is connected and related to your area of study, then the language is compulsory. It's better for you to get the language. Well, remember, if you don't get the language, there's still some, we call them student job, like cleaning, like washing plates, like doing some other selling newspaper and doing those stuff. So if one does not have the language, one will end up doing such kind of job. But if you have the language, then you can stand tall and then you can get a beautiful job that will be earning fat salary, that will be happy. Well, I need to tell you, if you are doing all those menial jobs, which I don't desire you do, but if you do them, I did such jobs as a student in the university. But then after I finished studying, I didn't feel comfortable doing them anymore. You still get money to pay your house rent, to heat and all that. But when you are doing that kind of a job and you are earning 1,200 in a month, and your colleague who has a degree and can speak the language is getting 4,000, 5,000 euro in a month, I think one will feel a bit too bad. So coming back to opportunity card, the difference, I mean, the important thing about opportunity card is you have to block an account. Okay, well, I have so many success stories but because we may not know all these people, I've just mentioned three. The first one is Isimeme. I mentioned Isimeme because Isimeme is also one of us in Oriokuta there at a time. Actually, there's another one. Anu is also one of us. I mean, at Oriokuta there. They are no more there now. German has taken them to different parts of the world. And then Tokwe, now Isimeme is in America, Anu is in Nigeria, Tokwe is in Germany. So I mentioned those three. And then I mentioned the last two. I think I have Wally here, and then I have Bisola. You are still going to see Bisola in a video that I'm going to show you. Bisola is in Germany. Wally is in America presently. Once in a while, he comes to Germany. And I think once in a while, he goes to Canada too. So these are people that have tried these things that we're talking about, and they're successful in their own right as we talk now. Well, the time may fail me to read all this, but if you desire, I may send this. This is the conversation between me and Isimeme concerning scholarship in America and the condition of the scholarship, this B2 thing, that one can get access to the American university. The universities are actually looking for so many people that could speak German, especially with B2 level. Once in a while, there are restricted university. I know of one or two universities that takes B1 with your first degree, and with that you get scholarship to do your master's with them. But generally speaking, if you have B2, so many universities are interested in such people. Why? Because they have a lot of young people, a lot of young Americans that they want them to learn the German language. And if you have B2 and then they take you and then you are doing your master's there, you'll be teaching assistantship in the university, and you'll be teaching those young people. And that is the goal of the university, or the goal of the government, to get a lot of their young ones to learn the German language. And there's another thing in this text. It is not only those people that study German. No, regardless of what you study, once you have this proficiency examination, you have success in this international examination, then you're also qualified to apply for these scholarships. Okay, well, I have Bisola here. Let me try to play the video. Let me see. Okay. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear the video playing?
We can't hear the sound, no audio.
Oh, no audio. Okay. You can't hear. Let's see how to adjust it here. Are you hearing now?
Not yet.
Language, irrespective of the background
Can you hear now?
you have.
No,
And
yes.
of Japan,
Okay, you can hear now.
everyone wants to travel to a foreign country. Hi everyone, I am Bisola and I live in Berlin. As you can see, I'm in Alexanderplatz in Berlin.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear her now?
I'm so happy to be speaking with you right now. I am a
Loud
PhD
and clear.
University of Berlin, and I am also an associate lecturer of German at a different institution in Berlin. So How did all of this start? I studied German and French at Obafemi Awolowo University. I also happened to be one of the instructors in language plays many years ago, and it was an awesome time of language plays. And I must say that it is very important for you to learn a foreign language. The way the world is going with the globalization, it's very important to speak at least one foreign language, irrespective of the background that you have. And this is a period of Japa, where everyone wants to travel to a foreign country. And if you speak another language, it will open doors of opportunity for you in any country, any location. In my case, after my NYSC, I moved to the United States, and that's where I got my master's in German studies. And it was on full scholarship. And it's because aside my bachelor's degree, I also made sure that I wrote the language proficiency exam. So in the German context, I would say the Goethe certificate exams, they have it from A1 to C1, and the higher it is, the better your chances. And I moved from the US to Germany, and I am still using German. And I would say, regardless of the field that you find yourself in, a language will always be an advantage. It will always be an advantage for anything that you can do. Learn a language today. Don't give up on yourself. You can do it. It is not difficult at all. You can do it. Learn a language and you will have beautiful and multiple opportunities. Bye.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, let's go to the second one.
Hallo, guten Tag alle. Ja, mein Name ist Gideon. Ja, also ich habe also eine wichtige Hausaufgabe mitzuteilen. Oh, sorry. So good everyone. My name is Gideon. Yeah, I'm a master student at the University of Georgia at the United States of America, where I'm currently having my master's degree in German studies. I did my A1 and A2 tutorial and exam at language place in Ife before I moved to OA for my for my undergraduate degree. During my undergraduate degree, I was with my knowledge of German studies before moving to my undergraduate degree, I was able to perform outstandingly in my exams and had a good grade, and that was an opportunity. And for the fact that I had a B1, that was an opportunity for me to actually progress very well. So when I was moving to US, I was able to acquire my B2 exam, and that one actually made my my transition to Germany and my scholarship. And I was able to secure a scholarship through that because I submitted all these materials and my good grades in University of Obafemi Awolowo University. So I believe currently I'm a master's student here with a fully funded scholarship for 2 years. That was I had something like $50,000 every year, and yeah, this is a thing you can also do. Also, you can actually put in more efforts for your what's it called, for your either A1. You can actually build yourself through A1, and through that you'll be able to secure an outstanding scholarship in the US or in Germany also. I was able to visit Germany through this my outstanding. I was able to visit Germany also for exchange program. I visited University of Rostock for a whole academic year. So this actually helped me to actually put in more effort, and so with this opportunity that I've been able to bring with this my German studies, I've been able to bring I've been able to travel to over 15 countries the last 3 years. Yes. So it's a opportunity for you also. You can actually put in more efforts and actually do enroll at language base and put in more effort. It's a thing you can do, and I see 90% chance you can have your B1 and have your B2 also if you can, and at least try to have a good grade, maybe 2-1 at least 2-1. You actually get a very good funding at either Germany or in US. Thank you.
Okay. Are we still there? Can we hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So,
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
okay, thank you very much. So, actually, that's summarily, that is the end of my presentation. From what I presented, in case we have questions, so that I can take some few questions within the limit of my time before we round off for today.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for such an amazing time and within the short possible time. Everyone, what do we say to him? What do we say to Dr. Olagunju? Please let's say thank you on the chat. Please make use of the chat to say thank you so much. I mean, it was so expository. I never knew that the German climb has so much opportunities like this. Thank you so much. So we'll be going right. Yes, Favor. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ezekiel. Yes, thank you, Stella. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll be going right into the next section. I think this is very explicit, but then I definitely know some of us would have questions here and there to ask. And that's why he's here. That's why we have Prof with us this evening to answer as much questions so that we can clarify on how to harness languages for the international space. And then, yeah, so if you have questions to ask, you can just, as usual, you know how we do it here, or if you're just coming in or you're just joining in and you don't know how it's done, please just raise your hands. With a raise of hands, I can just call you up to ask your questions. If you have questions to ask, you can just raise up your hands so that we help you get into the question. All right. This should not be the case of no question, then the teacher will not ask question when you don't have question. All right. I believe we're all trying to get a hook on it. Please, if there are questions from YouTube as well, because this is being okay. Okay, on French. Okay. Okay, there's a question here. So you can keep asking the questions. This is being streamed on YouTube as well. So if there are questions from YouTube, you can also share them here as well. Okay, we have one question already. Should we go about that? And before exactly, oh, we already have a contact being shared on the screen. Okay. Okay, we have a question, sir, on the chat. So the question is, the question is, can you throw more light on French as well? I think you had a lot of feedbacks on the German language, and someone is asking to get clarification on French as well. I think maybe because it seems like French is the closest that we have in this climb here.
Yeah, thank you.
So if you could help us just throw a little bit of light towards that. Okay. Thank you.
Actually, for French, we have many opportunities too. But one thing I want us to understand is, let me put it this way. France has gotten Africa already. Let me tell you this historical fact. Germany has no continent in Africa, as I'm talking to you now. But French has so many countries. So, I mean, what I wanted to say is Germany has no country that they colonized during this colonization and all that. But French has a lot. So French has penetrated already into Africa, no doubt about that. But German is now laboring to penetrate into Africa. So even though there are opportunities for French, the opportunities for German is much more. So that's what I would say. So what are the opportunities for for French? If you have your B2 in French, the same international exam, according to European framework of reference, the same exam, you write it in French, you can also get scholarship to study in America for French. You can get that. Not only that, if you have your B1, there's a yearly opportunity of going to France to go and work for 1 year. And the opportunity is only for those in the university. 1 year to work in France. So those are the two major opportunities. But there is a greater opportunity even in the whole of Africa. Nigeria, for instance, is surrounded by French-speaking countries. That means if you can speak French, you can connect to any of the African countries surrounding Nigeria and even beyond. Okay, but then for Germany is interested in Nigeria, is interested in Africa, and they are giving more scholarships, and they are giving more grants, and they are giving a lot of things just to make sure that Africans are coming to them to study, to work, and to do one thing or the other. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes. I think you
Okay.
did justice to that question, sir. Thank you so much. So if you have B1, the B1, to clarify, is it in SSC or even with the junior SSC exams? I don't know if you can help clarify that lastly.
No, if you have B2 with the exam you do after SS3, that's O level.
Okay. All right. Great. I think that's self-explanatory already. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. All right. So we have a
That's for
question.
German, not
Another
for
question.
French. For German, if you have O
Okay, that's
level
for German.
and you have B2 German, then you can go and do vocational training in Germany. For German,
Okay.
German and B2 German, and with that you can, and O level, then you can do vocational training in Germany.
All right. Thank you so much for
Good.
the clarification, sir.
All right.
I think we have another question again.
Okay.
This question is coming from Stella Praise, and it says, please, sir, what's the first step for someone with zero knowledge in German language?
Well, I expect everybody.
Yes,
I expect everybody I'm speaking to. The first person the people I'm speaking to, I expect you to have zero knowledge of German anyway. So the first step is you come and do, or you go and do A1 level of the German training. So that means from zero level, you register for A1 German, and from there you move on to A2, from A2 to B1, from B1 to B2. And I need to inform you too, the opportunity is right there, very close to you in Oriokuta there. In Landmark Nursery and Primary School, there is a language school there where you can learn the language. Are you with me?
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, I got that. I got that. So I believe the person who asked the question can actually get a clue from that on how to get started. So the very first way is to get the A1
Yes.
in the language, then proceed. All right. So okay, another question is coming from Ezekiel, and he says, it appears there is much emphasis on international language. Understandably, it's the topic, but can you please give some ray of hope on the local language? Will it ever become this competitive? I think this question, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, for people that are, for linguists, generally speaking, our local language is very, very important. If you don't know your local language, you still have opportunity to learn it, go and learn it, please. If you look at what I've done, as a student, as a researcher, I did a lot of comparative analysis of German language with my mother tongue, Yoruba. And when I was in Germany, I was always happy that, thank God I could speak my mother tongue. Because, let me tell you one short story. When my classmates were submitting topics for their thesis, a student can submit thesis and the lecturer will reject it first time, second time, fourth time, fifth time. They keep on polishing the topic. I took my own there once and it was accepted. Because what is the topic of my thesis? Analysis of German nouns with Yoruba nouns. It was accepted immediately. So I said, wow, it's good to speak one's mother tongue. And that is what I'm still using to chop now. comparative analysis of German and Yoruba. So I want to plead with all of us listening to me, make sure you learn your language. You can never tell where the thing will come up and become a blessing to you. I speak my mother tongue very well. I mean, even the local variant, the Ijesha, I speak it very well. So it's an advantage. And that is an opportunity for me also to project my local language when I was there in Germany. And even if you Google now, you look for a book on German and Yoruba, you are going to see my name there. And that means I've also brought the language to the limelight as a result of my opportunity to learn it when I was younger. So please learn your mother tongue. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So, your local language is very much needed. It will come handy one day. Thank you so
Sure,
much, sir.
sure.
We have a lot
All
of
right.
questions. I have to just run through this. Okay, I think the next question here says, this person is saying he's sorry he came in a bit late, but he's still asking what's the required number of subjects to be credited in SSC to learn German?
Okay, we need the equivalent of what we need to enter university, and that's 5 credits at one sitting or maximum at 2 sittings. 5 credits at 2 sittings maximum.
5 credits, 2 sittings. I think that's also very operational here as well. It's almost the same thing. All right,
I
thank you
prefer
so
at
much.
1 sitting,
Dayo,
but
I
at 2
hope that
sittings
question.
still acceptable.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, sir. Just to run through the next question for okay, this person is saying that there's a person that is in the 60s who has a knowledge of German and can speak it, but is just at home looking for what to do. Are there opportunities for a person like that to leverage on?
Oh, if I know where the person is, if the person can speak German and teach German, why not? We are working towards mobilizing people to learn a foreign language. And if you have somebody who can teach it, who speaks it, who knows it very well, that person can also be very, very useful in this our project of making many people to speak the language so that the person can teach young people, and then the young people we can send them to different parts of the world. And I need to say this too: if you can speak a foreign language, it's an opportunity to preach the gospel everywhere. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Yes, it's an opportunity. I think we almost forgot that part. That is also an opportunity to preach the gospel. Thank you for bringing our minds back to that.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. I think I had a swell time, and I believe everyone also has. Seems I'm trying to look through so that we don't miss out anybody's question. All right, I think they are just what we have here is just a validation. Someone is saying, adding to what was said earlier, that A1 is lowest, actually, like the lowest, that you should be aiming for C2. All right, okay. Thank you so much, Paul, for that.
I think some
Is
people
that
are
true?
raising their
First
hands.
off. Okay, great. I have some people raising their hands up. Okay. First, sir, please validate what he said. We should be aiming for C2 so that we get the right information. Then we'll head to the next question.
And what I will say, let's aim for C2, no problem. But then if you fall on B2, you are fine, perfectly fine.
Okay, all right. So I think everyone is already on their journey to go and pick the next form. All right, so the next question here, I think Moses Ijabula, sorry, pardon me. Please, you can just speak. You can ask your question. I think there's a question from you. You can go ahead. Hello, can you hear me? Are you still here? Okay, so our co-host also has a question. You can go ahead. Just unmute your mic if you have a question. can unmute your mic and ask your question.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening, Dr. Olagunju. My name is Aisusa. I'm speaking from the UK. I just want to share an experience a friend, a colleague, a programmer had in Germany some few years ago that made him relocate to the UK, right? So he was terribly sick. He was there on work visa, right? And at some point, he was terribly sick and needed help medically. Unfortunately, because of the level of his German fluency, he couldn't access help. Each time he calls, it's always produce. So he had to call the police because he believed that they are multilingual. It was at that point he got help. And then they referred him to the hospital. He got to the hospital, produce continued, and he couldn't just be it. He had to leave Germany. He had to relocate to the UK from Germany. So I want you to really emphasize the language. I know you mentioned C1 and all that. What level of fluency is really, really required to live in the society with Germans? Because it can be very difficult. Like everywhere in Germany, they speak German.
Yes.
It's that bad, so that people don't get struggle. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I understand. Yeah, thank you very much for your question. Actually, today, it's just a coincidence. Two of our students that left to Germany communicated me. One was praising God that she could speak good German, and anywhere where when she's speaking, they'll be saying, "Where did you learn this German?" The other one also happy, and all that because they learned the German. And then I compared this experience today with the experience I had last week with another young man, another student that called from Germany. And this other student was asking, how can you help me? The student I'm talking about now, this young man, went for the one they call opportunity card. But he didn't have a good level of the German before he left. I usually tell all of them, B2 is a standard level. If you have your B2, you flow. When you get there, you don't have any problem with the language. So B2, either you are going for opportunity card or you are going for vocational training. If you have your B2, you can't suffer to get job in Germany. If you have your B2, just as the example the last speaker gave us, you cannot be stranded with your B2 because, as he said, he used the language. He said it's as bad as that. If you don't speak the language, it's bad. Oh. In Germany, it's bad. If you can't speak German language, it is very bad. In fact, the second week you get to Germany, you'll be looking for how to run away from the country if you can't speak that language. Because even if you go to grocery, you want to buy things, you'll be using your hand as if you are a dumb and deaf person to demonstrate what you want to buy. So, but when you have your B2, please write it down. You have your B2, you are just fine. You move around freely, you talk freely. When they call you for interview, you go there boldly, you enjoy yourself, you get a fantastic job, and you live a happy life. You will not think of UK, you will not think of America when you have your language. The only major thing that drives people away, just as the last speaker said, is the language, and it drives people away from Germany. But when you have the language, you don't feel like running here and there. Sir, have I answered your question?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
So thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, my question is away from the language and our focus for tonight. There's a video of you that came up on the internet a couple of weeks ago, running to about 200 about now. It was very heartwarming, and most of us saw it. And then after that, we now started seeing similar videos of people being shown love in a similar fashion to what happened to you. Do you mind sharing with us the story behind this? What led to this? How come that amount of love was shown to you in a university setting where students normally say, or people normally say, the relationship between students and lecturers maybe it's just transactional, just come to for lecture, do exam, go away. But yours is is completely different.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that, sir?
Thank you very much. Number one is because of my past, and sincerely speaking, I had a bad, low-level past. I was not so good in secondary school. But then, if by the grace of God, eventually I woke up and I become good, I have a vision that everybody can be good. You know, some of my students, I will ask them when they are behaving as if, this German is difficult. This German is difficult. I'll say, come. What did you have in your whole level? And lo and behold, they will say, I have 9 credits. I said, credit, okay, how many A's? 5 A's. And then this, I said, you are far better than me. You can know this German. So because of that past, I don't see that anybody cannot be successful. Even this German that I can speak even in my dream now, I started learning it at the age of 24. Yeah, the first word in German from my mouth, I started at the age of 23, 24. So, and if I could do it, and eventually I have my doctorate degree in it and I speak it so well, I know anybody can learn it and be good at it. That's number one. Then number two, I love young people because I know they're the future of tomorrow. And because of that love for them, I like to, and that's part of the reasons why I don't like working in the office alone and just touching paper and all that. I just like to interact with young people and show them that you can make it. And I've seen a lot of them over the years, and they are really making it. So that is giving me more strength to love them more, to encourage them more, to push them forward more, and to see that they are successful. Then number three is because I'm born again. A lot of other lecturers may see those children as this Gen Z kind of people. They are so funny, they are so terrible, they are so this and that. But me, I see Christ. And you see, I was bad. And if Christ could save me, the way Christ was seeing me, having hope in me, I also have hope in them. That even though they may be Gen Z and troublesome and all that, I know if I show them the love of God, if I draw them closer, if we laugh together, if we play together, if I give them biscuit and I give them this and that, and I draw them to myself, and they see the difference in me, and this man is different, what's going on? I know they will see that and they will learn. In the video that I played today, there is a young man, the second person that spoke. That young man, oh my God, hated by so many lecturers because the young man is just too troublesome, terribly troublesome. And by the time he's having problem with lecturers, he will come to my office and say, Oga, want to let me jade o, wala lele o. What did you do? Sometimes we go to class, he will not, no biro, no book. He will just sit in class. And the way he's going to sit in class is just as if he's looking at you, as if, looking at the lecturer as if, what is this one teaching? He will pause and put his hand on his chin like this and be looking at you. So the lecturer will say, hello, what's going on? Where's your book? Where's your biro? Out of this class. And by the time they send him out, like, we just run to my office. But I showed love to him. You heard what he said. He has finished his master's in America. He did international exam and he passed B2. He passed B2 and it is B2 he used to get scholarship to America. He was in language place and he learned this German language in language place. And today, he's a big man. He's coming to do his wedding very soon. He has told me he's coming. And he said I should bring all the students that I can bring. This is the kind of thing, the love of God that will show them, that made them. And I did that then, and I'm still doing it. My students are so precious to me. No matter how bad they are, I want to encourage them and all that. And because of that, and lecturers can just get to class and do a little and go back and then, okay, go and read it. If you don't understand, that's your problem. Me, I don't do that too. I want them to understand it. I want them to, so because of that love, they also saw it. I mean, this man is different, and that is why they show that kind of unexpected love. I mean, surprise. They showed it to me. So that's the story.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
All
sir.
right. Thank you
Sorry.
so much, sir. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank
I
you.
think that hit home very, very well. So
Thank
we
you.
have a couple
Yeah, so sorry. I was
of questions. I know we are already to see how we can blend things up. We have a couple of questions from YouTube. Trying to get that now. Okay. Hello,
Sir?
can we hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm trying to get the question from YouTube. We have some questions from YouTube as well. Please, a minute. All right. So I think from YouTube, the question here is, can you throw more light on Spanish? Spanish. I think the next one, just to save time, is how do you get registered for the language exam?
Okay, well, for the language registration, the exam registration, that's what you do in language place in Lagos, in Orokuta there. Once we have trained the students, and in Ife too, in Ile-Ife.
In the
Once we have
first
trained the
place. So
students,
we just
we do the registration for the students. The students that we also have internal examination. Once we have given examination and the student is qualified, we register them for the international exams, either in OAU or in Lagos, Orokuta, the language place locations in Nigeria for now.
All right, thank you so much, sir. I think we'll call it a day. And okay, maybe personally, I want to also ask. I know there are some applications that can be used. I know of just one, which I tried to just download. That's Duolingo. Can you recommend the usefulness of that for a start before taking the exams? Something to just start off with.
Duolingo is good to start off with, but for a successful, in international exam, for you to be successful in this international exam, you need more than Duolingo. It's better to have physical classes. Online is fine. And we also have online materials that we can send to you, but sincerely speaking, we like to monitor our students to see how far have they gone, and coming physically, we help students to really get the success. We also have online classes that we can do one-on-one. I mean, you have a tutor to yourself. That one for both French and German under language place. So with that, we are sure, and because we give the prototype of the exam you do in this international exam, we give it to you. We assess our students and we can easily say, okay, you are good. You can now go and write the exam, because I don't want people to be wasting a lot of money to write the exam and eventually they fail. Before you write the exam, we would have tested you and tried you. And by the time we say, yes, you can go, you are more or less 80% sure that you are going to make it. We also have YouTube link. It's free of charge. We can also send it to any platform, so that it can also, to our WhatsApp platform, so that anybody that is interested can also start learning, as a starting point on this, our Language Place YouTube channel.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. It's been such an evening. Everyone, please let's say thank you to him as we call it a close. And before we close, we'll be calling one of our patron to just answer. If you have a last word for us to just round off the section, a word to just encourage us or to start off with, you can just give us in a few minutes. Everyone say thank you so much before we have our patron also give and highlight, and we call it a close. I think his number was shared here on the screen, just in case you have personal questions to ask, or you want to start asking, oh, how much is the cost? How much do I pay for the exams and all of that? You can ask those more intricate questions much later. So, sir, can you just give us a word in a minute while?
Thank you very much. Minds are blown up here tonight. And I'm sure everyone has that joined from the beginning, just love to stick around because of the impact of what we are hearing. I'm definitely sure that a lot of people will key in into these. And those of us who can still pick the language up, we keep learning. So don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if you see me tomorrow either speaking French or German, courtesy of the language place, because I think I must find my way there too to ensure I can learn the language. And like I've always said, whatever we are learning, let's go out there and practice it. This is where the profit is. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Dr. Lagoju, for adding value to us. And we want to say that we will be showing results to show that what you have done for us is actually helping us. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Yeah, so we just have the closing prayer. We have a closing prayer and we call it a wrap. And just to remind us before the closing prayer, we'll be having this section usually hold fortnightly, right? And the next section is going to be the YP-LEF. Next session is going to be on the 16th of April, 2025. And guess what? The topic is establishing professional boundaries while unlocking AI's full potential. So we would love to see you there. Keep it locked in. You can join if you're not if you want to join, yes, the group chat. The link has been shared already on the message box. You can just click on it and try as much as possible. If you need reminder for the sections, you can also join in there. Thank you so much once again. See you next 2 weeks and all right.
Thank you. Bye.